talking sports. And it's just how you like it. By the fan, for the fan. Ain't no frontin' and faking. It's sports talk with a twist. Something you cannot miss. So tune in every week and listen to what we gotta say. The choices of the voices. All roads lead to Dabo. Top it off with some pepper. Scotty, tell them do better. Eddie running the point. B-Life gotta digress it. It's fourth and goal, game on the line. We punch it in the end zone. The crowd going crazy, cause it's another W. Bloopers come and go, but the bros remain solid. From the Lamb to PA, Fayetteville to the 843, the Sports Bros Podcast coming at you every week.
Welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddie Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast is a sports podcast that's by the fans, for the fans, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. Hey, what's going on, world? This be your boy, Eddie Cool, and welcome to another action-packed edition of the Sports Bros Podcast. What number are we at again? Oh, that's right. We are at number 116 strong of the Sports Bros Podcast. I'm just happy to do it one more time. Do it again. One more trip around the bases, as they say in baseball. And with that being said, you know I cannot do this by myself. I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? 116 times. We are in the thick of it. There's so much to talk about. Man, we're coming up to Olympics time, man. I'm excited about that. At times it just seems like the world is in upheaval. We just trying to get along and get by. And with the thanks of Eddie Cool, in the this podcast, we get through some things, but then we also got to deal with the other guy and his obnoxiousness. So just be prepared, buckle your safety belts, because that other guy most likely has some silliness to take us for a ride. So go ahead, talk about him, and yeah, yes sir.
Throwing those barbs and jabs already. And speaking of the other guy, the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania. Looks like he's sitting on a beach, if I'm not mistaken. The money man, Scotty D.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. It's All-Star Week, the best sports week of the entire year, right? Didn't we talk about that earlier?
Yeah. We did. You sounded depressed because you said there was not much sports going on. I'm over here like, yeah, you're crazy, but it's all right.
All kinds of stuff going on.
You realize typically this is hell week because usually there's no other sports on. The NBA Finals are running late this year because of the crazy pandemic schedule pushed it all back. And the British Open, I forgot, is actually this weekend coming up, correct? Is that right?
Yeah.
British Open's coming up? Yeah. So usually we don't have these other little toys to play with. The British Open may coincide, but usually there's no other, the NBA, and it's just a standalone week for baseball. And it used to be the day off. You get the home run derby, then you get the All-Star game, then a day off, and then back to work. And now they're like stretching it out all week. I think the Yankees and Red Sox are playing Thursday, and they're the only game in town on the schedule. And then everybody else goes back Friday. So it's kind of a little bit of an extended break for Major League Baseball. And it used to be that, before and after, that was always the answer to the trivia question. The only day of the year that there's never pro sports, before and after the Major League Baseball All-Star game. And that's kind of switched up a little bit. But hey, we got a lot to talk about because we do have the NBA Finals, and we had a situation to watch on Saturday night inside the Octagon, Eddie Cool.
Yep, we did have a situation to watch in the Octagon in UFC. Speaking of that, man, we were going to lead off with the NBA Finals, but we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. UFC 264, Poirier, McGregor, Part 3. Fellas, it's a pretty interesting card. It wound up being pretty good. Scotty D, your guy O'Malley with the hair. Didn't he fight Saturday night too?
The Sugar Show, yeah. That was a crazy, insane fight because he might end up being as beat up as the other guy. Only it was his fists. His hands were hurting so bad at the press conference after because he punched the guy in the face like 200 times or something like that. It was nuts. This dude just kept coming forward like he was battery operated. It was insane. And O'Malley just kept punching him. I kept thinking he's going to run out of gas and get tired, but he just kept punching him. But that dude went straight to the hospital. I forget that guy's name. It was his first ever appearance in the UFC, but he wasn't alone in the hospital from people on the UFC card that night, Eddie Cool.
Yeah.
There was a one other big name that was joining him at the hospital.
Yep, we'll get to that. But real quick, Greg Hardy, he got knocked the hell out by Ty. By Ty.
He's probably in the hospital.
Yeah, he may be just waking up.
He walked into that punch like he was coming strong, coming heavy, and next thing you know, bing. So
his eye was bubbled.
Oh yeah, he walked like he was leaning forward.
He stood him up like this,
fist just up, and next thing you know, limp.
Yeah.
Night. This moment has been brought to you by Advil Nighttime.
He needs some milk.
So any one of those sleep aids? What's that one? What's the one sleep aid? Not sleep, not tired, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Either way,
NyQuil.
Greg Hardy, yeah, that's the one that's been sponsored by NyQuil. We hope so, but see, I already bumbled it up. Anyway, Greg Hardy was coming forward and heavy with some punches. I was like, okay, all right. And next thing you know, knees and legs buckled. He was out for the count. And man, so I was like, oh my. Well, see what had happened was that you can't lean in heavy. No. One thing you can't do, you can't lean in heavy against seasoned fighters. And two, if it's ever going to be your first appearance in a UFC event, I should have looked up his name. It really doesn't matter. Don't wear any colored type hair, any bright hair, because it just you could see every single punch. And the sound effect of the night, because I was around a bunch of people celebrating a birthday, was bing, and a bing, 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 bing. It was literally watching a not ping pong, but what's the pinball. Yeah, that pinball. Watching a pinball machine when it's going through the three little bumpers or whatever. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. Oh man.
All you saw was green hair just bouncing.
Doing this right here.
It ended up being like almost 250 significant strikes. Like it didn't even make any sense how many times. Like I want to say, I should have looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's close to a UFC record. Like I think it was close to the. I think it was. It was close to the record in the second round. Just how many times?
If it wasn't the record for the most, it was the highest percentage. It was like he landed like 80%.
80%, yeah.
Strike rate, yeah. And I actually disagreed with Rogan and Cormier whenever that fight got stopped. They said, it was like 30 seconds. I said, man, should have let that guy finish it. No, he was done. He should have stopped it earlier.
Nah.
I had no problem with them stopping that fight.
He had no chance. Like it was going to be a unanimous decision. There was no chance in the world anybody gave that guy a point in any round whatsoever. He just got, it was so technical.
And Sugar hits hard. He hits hard. He's not like Ben Askren.
I give the guy for having a chin, but man, when your brain is being bounced left and right, bing, 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 it literally, like I had somebody, because when I was watching, I'm watching his hair every single time. Oh, here we go, bing, bing, bing. 2-piece Popeye's chicken, Church's chicken, 2-piece. He just didn't get served the biscuit. The biscuit would have been him knocked out, but he was knocked down a couple times. But man, Sugar Shane O'Malley, that was he was methodical. Like he was surgical with those punches. Like he was sneaking his guard, like right in between here. It was beautiful to see. It was absolutely beautiful to see. I did miss the main event, but I saw highlights and I saw legs and joints and ankles just wrong direction. So I want y'all to opine on that if you could. Help me out with that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and opine on that. We'll go ahead and talk about the main event, the trilogy, the finale. so we think, of Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. Doctor stoppage in the first round. Scotty D, tell us what you saw.
Oh, I saw another leg snap, another tough one.
Ugh.
And actually, when this happened in real time, I thought he turned his ankle like Dak Prescott did.
Yeah.
When he first went down, it wasn't apparent to me that the tibia snapped. I thought his leg turned the way Dak Prescott's did. And then I thought I was wrong and saw it wrong because Poirier jumped on him and there was like 10 seconds left in the round and McGregor kind of defended. And then you could see clearly that leg was compromised in a terrible, terrible way. But this fight was not going McGregor's way. He most definitely lost that first round. But when they interviewed Poirier after the fight, he said that wasn't a freak accident. In so many words, he said, I checked that kick. And if you, I don't know if you guys stuck around and watched the replay after that fight was over and they were doing the post-fight interviews, McGregor threw a hard leg kick and Poirier actually did lift his leg and check it. And Poirier immediately pointed down to Conor's leg. He knew at that moment that something had happened to it. And then they kind of went in the scrum and then they went to the ground. After they got up, that's when that happened. I mean, McGregor's leg snapped just by him like kind of hopping back on his own weight. That's the third time I've seen this happen in the UFC, personally, that I've been watching. I saw it happen a couple months ago to Chris Weidman on a leg kick. And I saw it happen to Anderson Silva a couple years ago against Weidman on a leg kick. You know what all three of those things have in common, guys?
What do they have in common?
All three of those things happened in the first round. So it's you've seen a trend in the last probably 2 years where there are more and more leg kicks as part of a strategy, an offensive strategy. But when these guys come out and they're kicking that hard, they're putting themselves at a serious risk now. And we've seen 2 fractures like that now in this calendar year. I mean, just think about, say you put on a steel toe shoe or something on a boot and just started kicking a log like that. You're going to fracture your leg. You're going to fracture your tibia just by the force that you're hitting, another stiff object like that. So when these guys are going bone to bone, leg to leg, man, that's dangerous. That's, it kind of makes you think twice about throwing such hard kicks because the guys that have done it were the ones that got their fracture. They did it to themselves with hard kicks. I mean, McGregor was throwing some hard leg kicks earlier at Weidman. I mean, he hurt him early in the legs with a few of those kicks. But then the post fight was just as entertaining. These guys, McGregor's laying on the ground with his leg snapped in half, still want to go after Weidman, and Weidman still wants a piece of him. They're talking trash. Do we see this again? I don't know. I think both guys would like to, but
I think from what I've heard, and I talked to a few of my other friends that they watch MMA too. The recovery for this looks up to be like 1.5 years. Because of course he's going to get a rod and screws and plates and everything put in his leg. And also on top of that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Dana White was like, hey, let's run it back for a 4th time. But it's kind of like, do we even want to see this for a 4th time? I mean, like, doesn't Poirier have a chance to contend for a title? And Conor?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's say Poirier is he's getting the next title shot.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say he wins, which would be probably 4 or 5 months from now if they do it. Probably by the end of the year he'll have that fight. By the time he'll defend it probably once. I'm just assuming that Poirier wins. This Oliveira is no joke, so it's not a given that he's going to beat him. But that division is full of killers. So let's just say that Poirier does win that. He may have another title defense against a Gaethje again or a Michael Chandler or somebody like that. If he's the champion and Conor McGregor comes back, McGregor doesn't deserve a title shot. You can't just give him that. He hasn't won a UFC fight against a top guy in 5 years. I mean, you can't just throw those two back. And the only way they would have to do that is if Poirier would either vacate the title or McGregor would have to win maybe 2 fights. Now we're looking at 3 years down the road before these guys fight again, and they're both in their mid-30s. So this might have been the last time we see this. Who knows? I mean, stranger things have happened. But again, if Poirier loses to Oliveira, who knows where each of those guys pass take them beyond that. But that division is just full of badasses, and McGregor hasn't shown capable to be able to beat these guys. I mean, I can't see him beating a Michael Chandler or Justin Gaethje or any of these top guys. The guys that he beat, he was better than. They're not even around anymore, really. He kind of disposed of these cats that he beat a few years ago. So I don't know. I think more logically, McGregor was talking about fighting Manny Pacquiao. I think that's probably off the table. I think his next big pay fight, you know who it's going to be against?
Who?
I bet it's one of the, you're not about to say one of the Paul brothers.
One of the Paul
You got
brothers.
it. You got it.
Doggone! I was
You
thinking
got
that
it.
too. And let me put it this way. This pains me to say because everybody in the world knows how much of a pay-per-view draw that Conor McGregor is. He brings in the money. There's a reason why he was the number one paid. By Forbes, he was actually number one with as far as like revenue this past year with he made $180 million last year in revenue. Yeah. So he's a draw. Without question, he's a draw. He's an entrepreneur. He makes big money. But here's the thing. When it comes to the UFC, I hate to say it, I think he's done. If best, he's a mid-carder. He's not a main event person because at the end of the day, his next couple of fights, like you said, he has to win them to even get back into title contention. He's not in title contention right now, so it has to be a mid card, and it just doesn't seem feasible. I don't think Conor McGregor is the type of person that would drop to a mid card or anything like that. But
I think realistically, his only other really big draw fight coming back would be another fight with Nate Diaz because it's 1-1, and Diaz has lost his last. I mean, you're looking at two fighters that are kind of taking the same path on the backside of their career now, and that would be like really you can't go out there and run your mouth and do all the stuff that McGregor's doing now like he did years ago if you're not winning. It was different whenever he was winning fights, but if he's not winning fights, maybe you throw him in there against a Jorge Masvidal or something like that, another brawler type of fight, something like that. But or Nick Diaz, who's coming back soon for a fight, something like that. But yeah. I think Conor's his best days are most definitely behind him, and this was his chance. If he didn't break his leg there, who knows? He may have knocked Poirier out in the second round. He might have caught him. He survived that onslaught in the first round. He typically gasses, and he probably was going to do that because he expended a lot of energy with, fighting him off from the, the bottom position. But, his gas tank has never been his strong suit. I think his best days are behind him. And we may get a fight with Nate Diaz. And then for him, why wouldn't you take a boxing match against one of them Paul kids and make a ton of money? You'll make more money off that because those guys will trash talk each other. I mean, the other night, I was watching this fight with my nephew. He's 14 going on 15. When that fight was over, my nephew said, "Man, I can't wait to see what Jake Paul has to say about that." I was like, "You got to be kidding me." So there was a market. These young kids are into these YouTube guys. They're into this stuff. And that might be the safest play for Conor. Make a bunch of money and, your limited skill set against somebody else with limited skill set. I don't know.
Yep.
That's really all I got on McGregor, man. That's it.
This is what I got. For all of these New Age and 2021 and Save the World and animal activists and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to need y'all to stop pushing all this goat milk and soy milk and almond milk and rice milk and all these other types of milk, because we need to get back to the basics of good old fresh cow milk that has all the calcium that does a body good. Because these bones is brittle.
Hey, brittle.
You never know. You never know.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm not getting into. I just think that these past couple years of these gruesome injuries that I'm seeing, man, maybe we're just doing a little too much. And we didn't see these type of injuries in the past, so I don't know. This is just me just spitting from the dome. But Conor McGregor, wish you the very best. Hope you heal up. And yeah, the future is going to be very interesting. But one thing about the UFC though, there's there's a lot of talent. That division is not lacking.
Fully loaded. Oh, it's fully
So
loaded.
Connor, make some more money off your proper 12. It's all good, bro. It's all good. Yes, sir.
Yep, proper 12. And speaking of Jake Paul, I'm looking it up right now. Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley will be fighting in Cleveland, Ohio on August the 29th. Might have to pop up like a pimple on prom night to see what the buzz and the fuss is all about. Moving right along, fellas, we're going to the National Basketball Association, the NBA Finals. We got the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks game 3 in Milwaukee, all right? And guess what the Bucks did last night? They won at home. They won convincingly. So, B-Live, what are your takeaways from the Bucks win, and do they still have a fighting chance to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy?
Without question, this is back to where I said that the Bucks would win in 7, because I still say to this day that Milwaukee is the more talented team, and we saw every bit of it. One thing that we did not expect was that Devin Booker would be ice cold. Oof. I mean, ice cold. And man, this is the beautiful thing about sports and home arenas and everything like that. Giannis actually looked like he could shoot free throws. he didn't have the whole crowd 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
screaming.
Right. So I mean, it's crazy like that, but it is what it is, man. And it's just a different atmosphere. And you saw Milwaukee, they just rallied. Giannis did his thing with 40 points again, but he had a little support this time. You know, Chris Middleton with 20 plus, Drew Holiday with 20 plus, Bobby Porter's big eyes and all, freaking whole crowd screaming Bobby, man. I mean, so it's literally, it could easily be home field advantage wins it all, which that would have the Suns winning at 7. It could very well be, because you saw the tale of 2 different teams. Like, you could even see that the Suns were a little bit nervous and hesitant when they were playing because they're a younger team. They've done well on the road during the regular season, during the beginning of the playoffs, but this is the NBA Finals. This is win or go. I mean, this is it.
That's a big game 3 too, or game 4. That's a huge one.
Oh yeah, and like, it's one of those things where it alleviates a little bit of the stress off of Milwaukee. They're a little bit more comfortable. This is the Milwaukee team that outscored everybody during the regular season. They averaged 120 points during the regular season, and this is the Milwaukee Bucks team that we're used to seeing. I didn't see as much pick and roll that Phoenix liked to use during the first 2 games. So I think that played a lot into it. Chris Paul was not as comfortable, and that was partly due just the way they were playing him this go round. Like
Middleton was all over him as soon as he was coming across half court.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So that seemed to work. Devin Booker, he cannot have another game like that. He cannot, because that.
You know, it tells me that he's not quite to the superstar status that we thought he was, because could you imagine in a fourth quarter in the NBA Finals, Kobe Bryant sitting,
right?
Not even taking, even if they're getting blown out, Kobe was going to be in there fighting, and and Kobe's like a super high elevated superstar, but you know what I'm saying. None of these other guys,
right? Yeah.
LeBron wouldn't sit, KD wouldn't sit, and not that much. Maybe it was like 2 minutes to go. But he sat out pretty much the whole fourth quarter. He was ice cold. He looked tired. Maybe Giannis having that injury that looked so gruesome may have worked to his advantage and give him a little bit of extra rest, because he certainly played himself back into shape after a shaky first game. 2 40-point games back to back. I mean, this dude is bringing it, and he is not afraid of the free throw line, even though that hasn't been his strength. I said that in the last couple of shows, but he shot 17 free throws the other night. Well, wow. I think he made 13 of them, right? He had a good night in game 3, but Giannis, and guys, you notice where he's shooting. He ain't out camping out on the 3-point line.
No.
He is going to the rim, making it happen. He is going down low, playing the kind of basketball I like, where you are aggressive and go to the rim instead of just planting out on the 3-point line. So Milwaukee's still, in the hole here, but like you said, somebody's gonna have to win on the other one. Well, actually, Phoenix doesn't have to win on Milwaukee's floor. They can just, if they can put in cruise control and do what they did in game 1 and 2, but and I expect Booker will be better, but Booker has actually not been as good ever since the broken nose thing. He's cooled down. Other than a real hot second half in game 2, he hasn't been the same guy that lit up Denver and lit up the Lakers. He's been a little bit more subdued. And you probably can't blame him if that nose is bothering him. Maybe he's having a hard time breathing right. Who knows? I mean, but for a young guy to look that tired and beaten down the other night, wasn't good, but I definitely don't expect him to be that poor again at all in this series, really. And I think what's the next game for is Wednesday, right?
It's Wednesday.
Yes.
They get
so
2
they get
days
an extra
rest.
day off. So that'll help them all get their legs back under them a little bit. So anyway, it's no surprises yet. The home teams win every game. We'll see. But I'm telling you, if they roll through this, and Giannis keeps up this kind of pace, I mean, he's putting himself in rarefied eras, 40-point games in the finals. If he carries that team to a win, he's in the conversation of best player in the league. Like, I mean, LeBron's out in the first round, and he's like the best player in the league. He goes and beats KD on his home floor, and he's the best player. I mean, Giannis, 2-time MVP. If he's a finals MVP, hard to argue against him being known as the best player in the league right now.
One thing I could tell you this much: the Phoenix Suns are missing Dario Saric.
Yep.
They're missing him big time because the Bucks outworked them in the paint. And there was a moment of time, I don't know the final count, but there was a moment of time that the Bucks were outscoring the Suns game 3, 19-0 in second chance points. Offensive rebounds. They were just that right there, that's they won by 20 points. 19 second chance points. There you go. Like if Suns are not able to bang, DeAndre Ayton was had early foul trouble. So yeah, that right there, if you that's your game right there. I think both teams can score, but if you keep getting second chance after second chance after second chance and put back stuff like that, it's a whole different ball game, and that's where I think Milwaukee has the edge. So I think honestly, this is what I say: Milwaukee wins game 4. They go to Phoenix. Milwaukee wins game 5 to take control of the series. Phoenix wins game 6. Milwaukee wins game 7. My prediction will come true. Yes, sir.
Scotty D, how you feel about that?
Well, if it comes true, then you'd be matching me because my prediction came absolutely true in the NHL Finals. I predicted Lightning in 5, and it was Lightning in 5.
Yep. And speaking of the Stanley Cup Finals, the Lightning strike twice. Yes, they strike twice for the second consecutive year. This time in front of fans is much more sweeter. They repeat as they win the Stanley Cup again for the second consecutive year in a row. They beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-1 to win the series, and the game was 1-0, a real low-scoring affair. Vasilevsky, Andre Vasilevsky, he was standing on his head. He won the Conn Smythe Trophy, and their first team to go back-to-back since Scotty D's Pittsburgh Penguins in 2016, 2017, or 2015, 2016?
15-16, I believe it was.
Okay.
But and Vasilevsky obviously was the difference maker, and good for them. They won it. I mean, realistically, this has been the best team on ice for 3 years.
Yep.
They had that bad first round a couple years ago, but they've been the best team for 3 years. And good for them because last year they won it in the pandemic season without their fans around, and this time they're won on their home ice. And congratulations, another trophy in Tampa.
Yep.
The city of Tampa is winning right now between World Series, Super Bowl, back-to-back Stanley Cups, WWE during the pandemic. The city of Tampa is thriving. They have not missed a step. And
they have not.
So congrats to them. Habs, young team. They'll be back. They'll be in the picture. Unless the Kraken steals away some of their players.
The Kraken is coming.
Yep, the Kraken is coming. I'm excited to see a hockey team in Seattle. I don't know why, but I'm like, oh, well, I guess that's one step closer to getting the Sonics back, but only one can wish. Fellas, it's All-Star Week. Yes, it's All-Star Week, and we got the Home Run Derby. And but before we get to that, man, we got Ohtani. Shohei. He is on fire, all right? He is on fire. I personally believe it's him as an MVP and everybody else. But be live. The Atlanta Braves got dealt some bad news as Ronald Acuna Jr. tears his ACL in his right knee and will miss the rest of the season. How will that impact the Braves, be live?
Well, it's one of those things where I still say this, that the Braves, they haven't fit their identity yet. Like, they hit a lot of home runs, but their batting average is lower than most. Their pitching is middle of the pack at best. This was a tough blow. One thing about Atlanta though is that they have a great farm system. So I mean they're already a very young team. It's a tough division. So I mean, so right now they're sitting a couple games below 500. It's gonna be tough. Like nobody's really pulling away. The Braves, I'm not the Braves, but the Mets right now. They got a small lead against everybody else, but really, it's gonna be tough. Ron Acuna was in the MVP talks for the most part of the season. It's very hard to replace him, just rest easy, rehab. I know you have such a bright future ahead of you, Acuna. So I mean, it is what it is. Injuries are so tough, but I have no doubt he'll bounce back. Come back next year stronger and better than ever. So, hey, yep, yes, sir.
So, Scotty, your Pittsburgh Pirates got the #1 draft pick. Do you have any information on this kid?
Well, they took this catcher Davis, who, I mean, his numbers are good, but I guess there was no clear-cut #1 this year. There was talk that it was going to be Leiter or the other pitcher Rocker from Vanderbilt, and then there was a kid named Meyer that was a shortstop that was his name was being thrown around. So I don't know. You know, it's the thing with these baseball drafts is you don't know how good they're going to be for another 4 years, maybe 3 years. You know, either way, it's not going to impact them. The Pirates are going to be lousy the rest of this year, probably next year. To me, the Pirates having the #1 overall pick this past week is like the Yankees getting a bonus pick. It's like, all right, that guy's probably going to play for us someday if he's any good anyhow. So I don't know. Hopefully these young players, the Pirates have a really, it's kind of a deep system right now. They and it's going to get deeper after they make some trades. So I'm hoping to see the page turn here on the Pirates the next couple of years, but it ain't this year.
No, it won't be it. So we all can agree that Shohei Ohtani is the man right now. Is his MVP
He's the most interesting thing of the All-Star break is he's batting first. He's in the home run derby. He's pitching. I mean, he's the most interesting guy going right now for a guy who doesn't speak English.
Doing everything.
Yeah.
He is doing everything. All right. A fella named Brian from Fayetteville asked me to talk about this topic. Scotty D playing golf against a fella named Jerry Donnelly. Scotty, do you have any information on this?
Yeah, the old guy still got enough left in the tank to beat this young whippersnapper. Guys, I'm ready to throw my golf clubs in the Atlantic here. I mean, I'm so frustrated. I'm in Myrtle Beach right now. I just drove to Myrtle Beach before this podcast, and I'm going to get a lesson because I want to play golf. I love golf. I want to play the rest of my life. I want to retire here and play golf, but I can't hit low liners down the third base line and be happy with that mess because that's all I'm hitting right now. My game has deteriorated from a nice high draw to a low line shot. I mean, it'd be great if I was a baseball player. You don't want to be hitting the high pop-ups. It's so frustrating right now. I just want to bang my head against the wall. Golf is such a hard game. So hard. Unless you're like Tony Romo. Tony Romo beat Annika Sorenstam this past weekend, I think, didn't he? Then they had him and Smoltz had a good game.
Yeah.
And did you guys watch the Aaron Rodgers, Brady, DeChambeau spectacle the other night?
I caught bits and pieces of it, man. A lot of trash talk. I was there for the trash talk. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was there for the trash talk, and it was hilarious. It was.
To me, Charles Barkley was the star of that one too. He was doing the coverage of it, but interesting nonetheless. But yeah, what a hard game. Of course, Tom Brady's good at that too, but what a hard game.
Yeah, he's good at everything. And guess what? You know what else we're good at?
What are we good at?
We are good at introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. And with that being said, hey, yo, Button, hit it. Pow! In the face, just like that.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and ever so lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. You heard the woman 116 plus episodes. She ain't got no right or reason to lie. None whatsoever. What we do here, we ask our listeners the questions. They give us the answers. We talk about it. We share our answers. They might be the same. They might be different. 9 times out of 10, if you do something crazy, we just might pick at you. Just like we always wait for the foolishness that is Trey Dizzle, all right? And with that being said, Scotty D, what's the question for this week's choices of the voices?
Well, because the games are beginning in Tokyo on July 23rd, I asked what Olympic event, Summer Olympic sport, are you looking forward to watching? What's one of your favorites to watch? I didn't say this last week, but I did preface this on Facebook as to not use basketball because we're all basketball fans, and I wanted to be more like into the games kind of thing. So we did. Evidently, people were into the Olympics. We had a lot of answers. Somebody told me the other day, nobody cares about the Olympics. Nobody's watching anymore. I said, well, I'm going to be watching. I know a lot of people that are interested in it.
Who said that?
Some guy the other day was running his mouth. Nobody cares about the Olympics. It's like, well, maybe you don't, but I'm going to watch. You know, the Olympics are always fun. I've gone back and forth. I actually think I'm a bigger fan of the Winter Olympics because I like the skiing and the bobsledding and, you know, all those downhill events, ski jumping and all that stuff. But the summer one always have some different things to watch too. So, Eddie, cool. What are our listeners and YouTube viewers? What are they looking forward to watching here at the Olympics?
Hey man, you tell that guy he can go somewhere because people watch the Olympics. They talk about the Olympics, and according to these here listeners and viewers, they view it as well.
Yeah.
Too. You know what? He probably mad because it's every 4 years that he forgets stuff. But I digress. It wasn't be live. All right, so here we go. We got Rodney Bellamy. He says the 2-on-2 beach volleyball, always a fun watch.
Hard to argue that one. Hard to argue that one.
Good answer.
Yeah,
good answer. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Family Feud. Good answer.
Good answer, Julian. Good answer. Yeah, good answer. Good answer.
Survey says
beach volleyball.
Oh man, good old Steve Harvey. Here we go. All right, we got David Ramito. He says dodgeball should be in there. Maybe underwater basket weaving as well, but I'll go with sprinters. Scotty D. Yeah, he wants to go to sprinters.
Hey, I'd watch dodgeball. That would be a cool Olympic event.
Nice.
You know what I think someday is going to be an Olympic event is this ninja stuff, like the American Ninja Warriors stuff. That I think, because if I'm not mistaken, at some point they're going to incorporate breakdancing in one of the next couple Olympics. I don't know if it's winter or summer, but I read that somewhere that breakdancing is going to be in. That's not even popular anymore. Right? That's a dumb one, but. Setting these obstacle course stuff like this American Ninja Warrior stuff, that's an international sport. So that could be one. But I would watch dodgeball. I'd watch the dodgeball Olympic event.
I would watch dodgeball too. Would you watch it? Yes. Would you watch it be live?
Oh, absolutely. Global Gym against Average Joe's. Absolutely.
Yeah. For all the gold, sucker. All right, moving right along. We got the Hall of Famer Uncle Max. He says boxing. He says he remembers seeing Sugar Ray Leonard win gold in the Summer Olympics of 1976.
Go ahead, Be Live. Door's open.
No.
He just pulled the door open for you.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
76 wasn't that long ago.
Leave the door open.
I am reformed. That is a good answer. Here's the thing. We need some type of resurgence when it comes to boxing anyway.
Yeah. Oh, do we?
So it's like, Olympic boxing was a big draw, and I have to emphasize was. Mm-hmm. We need some type of resurgence for the sport.
Well, It used to launch the stars.
Yep.
Right.
That used to be where you'd find out. I mean, that's first time I ever laid my eyes on Oscar De La Hoya or Roy Jones Jr. That was the Olympics. Riddick Bowe. I mean, it doesn't seem to do that, have that same effect anymore. But you're right. That'd be great if we could watch some boxing in these Olympics and it generates some interest. Like some of these guys graduate into the professional field and,
right.
Because the biggest boxing match we're looking forward to just got postponed because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so, and it's just one of those things because of the way boxing is now, because of everybody wants to be that money generator. They want to pick their own fights, and I want to say it is Mayweather's fault, but you don't see that amateurism in boxing anymore because of that reason. They're looking for the big money ticket, and the Olympics used to be just like you said, Scotty D. That's where you saw the raw, pure talent, and then winning gold for your country. And then next thing you know, then the money will come. You build maybe
the Paul brothers will be in the next Olympic boxing. Maybe
Jesus Lord, Eddie Cool, Amtrak, Amtrak. I just got a headache so bad. Please, Amtrak this so bad. Oh boy.
If these guys make the Olympics, Cleveland will never be the same. I can see it now. If they do, I'm interviewing everybody within a 30-mile radius. All right.
They're not going to the Olympics without tickets. I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to have tickets to participate here, pal. All right. We got Mike Davis. He said skateboarding this year, skateboarding as an Olympic sport.
Is that a new one? Is this the first time that's going to be a thing? An Olympic event?
I believe so. I
think so too. I can't swear to it. I don't remember. And I usually follow the Olympics. I don't remember the skateboarding being part of that before, but I would watch. I mean, I would watch that one. I'd kind of like to see that.
Skateboarding will make its Olympic debut. This is the first ever. Yep.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I would watch. I'll watch that. I hope to see some cool stuff. And I've never been a skateboarder. I remember when I was a kid trying to get on the skateboard, and it didn't move. When I tried to move it, I fell off of it. So that was my skateboarding career right there. But I find those guys fascinating and amazing to see these guys, the best in the world, do this. I mean, I'll watch that. That's a great call.
And and thanks to the X Games, because I believe the X Games really took off and that made it more of a global event. And so now it's on the Olympic platform. So that's huge. That's huge. Yeah. I'm definitely check that out. Definitely.
Yeah.
Is Tony Hawk gonna be there?
I just saw an advertisement where Tony Hawk is releasing a new game.
Oh.
Another pro skater. So it looks like it's outfitted for PS5, PS4, Xbox, and PC. You would think I'm advertising this. Give me my money, son. I can do this.
Yeah, somebody got to give us a check. We got some good content, but that's neither here nor there. It's later down the road. All right, we got a friend to the show, JR. He said track and field and gymnastics.
Oh, yeah.
Ordinarily, I don't care about gymnastics, but I'll watch them in the Olympics.
Well, okay, quick question. When else would you be able to watch gymnastics?
Well, I mean, they're televised sometimes. There's like championships and stuff that are on every once in a while.
You can see it on ESPNU from time to time.
Stuff like that. But I wouldn't watch the Olympic trials of it. But once the Olympics roll on, I'll watch a little bit of that.
Yeah,
that's not my answer, but I mean, I would, if they're on and I put the TV on, that's what's on. I'll watch that.
But yeah, track and field it is definitely like you literally be watching where it says it has the world record and Olympic record at the bottom and just be hoping that somebody beats it. Yes. Of course, is there ever going to be another Usain Bolt? Who knows? Because that dude's ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
That didn't even make any sense how fast that dude was. Yeah, like he'd have. I watched his performance. So I think it was 2016. No, it could have been. I think it was before then. It was. He literally You watch Usain Bolt. He had a slow start, like he was slow off the gun, then picked up speed, was ahead of everybody, and literally let up at the end and still won. Like you saw that. That shows you how ridiculously fast it was.
Yeah.
And that excites me every single time is to watch track and field. Like even the steeplechase where they're jumping over the thing and jumping into the water. When did you ever watch that? But you'll watch it during the Olympics because it's a competition. So great answer, Star Walker.
Yeah, they're jumping over people and jumping in ditches and moving each other out the way. It's getting testy out here. Yeah, really. It's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. All right, we got Veronica Bruno. What's going on, Vibo? She says softball is where it's at. She has a daughter who is a phenomenal softball player. Real deal, phenomenal. Veronica, we trying to see her in college, man. We trying to see her on that next level, man. When we turn on ESPNU, but hey, we know who that is. Yeah, representation. We want to know exactly who that is. All right. Will Berry, he says none of them.
Was that who you were talking to, Scott, when they say don't watch the Olympics?
No, but I'm going to introduce him. I'll say here, well, I'll introduce you. You can talk to this character while the rest of us are watching the Olympics. Bah humbug, Will.
That makes no sense to me. Like so you're really just stuck on football and American football because every other major sport is in the Olympics. So you literally.
Hey, there's got to be a way to play some Olympic game on DraftKings. He'll be watching.
Oh man,
he's a DraftKings kind of guy.
And I bet literally bet money that DraftKings has coverage of the Olympics.
Oh, they'll have something to do. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, some way, somehow they're gonna figure out how to get that Olympic dollar. All right. Amanda Dawson, she says gymnastics is my favorite. Yes. All
right.
I remember Amanda. She could turn a pretty mean backflip. She was a nice gymnast coming up back in the day. Yep.
And she can also throw a pretty mean ketchup bottle too.
Ketchup bottle. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. As soon as I saw this, I was like, we gonna get a ketchup bottle reference. I knew that. Hilarious.
Just for the listeners, long story short, she's also a diehard Gamecock fan as well as the HOC, the head. But I just happened to be I was in town and everything. I think I was still living there at the time. But the Gamecocks were playing Tennessee, the Volunteers, and I don't like the Gamecocks. So when the game started, and Tennessee scored, I was like, in the middle of Buffalo Wild Wings, good old Rocket Top, Tennessee, fling. She threw a ketchup bottle at me in public. I was like,
you deserved it.
Yes, I did.
You can take that mess up there to the Knoxville, wherever the hell you can take it on up there. Yeah, get up out of here, right? All right, so here we go. We have, let's see who we got next. Oh, we got another one of Bruno's sisters, Morgan Bruno. She says gymnastics, exclamation point. Yep.
She's got some daughters that are into gymnastics too that are excellent. So that's a good call.
Hey, them Bruno kids, man, they got some athletic children, man.
Some talent.
Some talented churn, as we say down south. Them churn got skills.
Nice.
Yeah, so shout out to the Bruno sisters, man. We've been knowing them for how long? Since forever?
Ever.
Yeah.
For a very, very long time. Love the family and everything. And much support to their kids. And we want for them to have bright futures. We want to cover them here at the Sports Bros podcast by the fan, for the fan. That's my line. Yes, sir.
All right. That is your line. Yes, sir. All right. We got Andrea. I practice your last name, so I'm going to try my best not to butcher it and stick a knife to it. All right. And Alexandria Bialusau. Did I get it right?
That's close.
All right. We're just going to call her Alex B. All right. Alex
I always call her Alex from Poland.
All right. Alex B.
She is actually from Poland. Yeah.
All right. So Alex B, she said gymnastics and swimming. Michael Phelps. Yes.
Well, gymnastics is taking the lead here, huh?
Yeah, taking a big old lead.
I want to say this real quick. I am very, very thankful for the female participation in the choice of the voice. Yes.
See, they're going to be watching the Olympics. It appeals to the females.
Hey, I very much appreciate that. And so, I see that. I had another joke, but I'm not going to do that because that's just wrong. And so, love you, JR. All right, cool.
That wrong. All right, so here we go. We got Craig Burns. He said all of them. So we went from none of them to all of them.
All right. So we're going to have a nice little debate between Will Berry versus Craig Burns. And who's going to come out on top? I'm going with Craig because Will, you silly. It's the Olympics.
We love you.
Come on, bro. But come on, bro.
Come on, son. Come on, son. All right, move right along. We got the big boss man, Bruce Diamond, and he said curling. Where is he going, fellas?
That's kind of
penalty box
to the San Diego.
let me just tell you, this was a direct dig at me. This is a personal one because he used to put curling on even when it wasn't Olympic time. We worked together at Overtime Sports Cafe, and I used to just dread seeing him put curling on over and over again. So that was definitely one me. It wasn't so much him not following directions, a la terrible Pete Delansky. It was just Bruce kind of trying to be funny at my expense.
Oh,
inside joke.
So are you saving them from the penalty box?
Nah, if you want to throw them in there.
Oh man, I seen that, and then I posted a picture of the beauty and the elegance of curling. I don't mind it at all, but yeah, that's definitely this is definitely not their time of the year, so we're gonna move on.
Yep, move right along. Yep,
that'll be next year.
Yep, next year. Yep, move right along. We got Steve Wallace. What's going on, Steve? He says skateboarding is my summer sport. Skateboarding. So
all right, skateboarding's here.
Oh yeah, we will see it for the first time in the Summer Olympics. Gotta love it. Yes, sir.
You know what I think about when people talk about skateboarding? I think about the video game Paperboy and the dude on the skateboard.
Oh yeah.
I've laid him out so many times. Get out the way. Move. I got people. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just the hell out of the way. What are you doing here? All right, man. We got Erica Long. She says gymnastics. Yes, the flip flop and fly of gymnastics. So that's like what, 13 for gymnastics already?
Yeah, we've had quite a few gymnastics, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Simone Biles, let's get it. Let's go. I want her all to win them all. You know what? I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm actually very curious to see how they score her, because it's been a controversy with how they score her, because they're saying that because her talent level is like leaps and bounds above the next competitor, that they like it's almost on a curve on how they grade her. Because
they'll be more critical judging her against herself almost to see, huh?
Yeah. Right. So
oh man.
So yeah, this is one of those things, because she can do what nobody else can do. Like, they don't want to give her bonus points because of that. I'm like, how do you not do that? Like, so it's one of those things, because she could do something that nobody else can do, you're going to penalize her by, like, okay, degree of difficulty, it's still the same as somebody that can't even do that trick. What do you mean? No, that's not how any of this should work. But we shall see. Simone Biles win it all. Bring some of that gold to the US of A. All right.
We want the gold, sucker. All right, moving right along. We got Nikki Rock. That is a dope name, Nikki Rock. All right. I don't watch. Sometimes I'll stop on gymnastics.
All right. So her and Will Berry, will get along a little bit. All right. At least she gave an answer. At least she gave.
Yeah. So here we go. All right, here we go. We got Joy Buckets, Joe Gafkin. He said, I like table tennis. I feel like I got ping pong skills until I watch these guys. Hashtag another level.
Dude, those guys are crazy. Like Forrest Gump out there just waving the paddles around. It is really insane to watch those guys' reflexes. That is something to watch.
Yeah, they'll be standing 10, 12 feet away from the table and freaking launching the ball because the other guy's right next to the table. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's the second time you've gone to that side effect on this show.
Yes, I have. I got it. I got excited.
The green-haired zombie, and
that the green-haired zombie in boxing, that is bing, that's with a B. That's with a B. In ping pong, with table tennis, is with a P. Ping.
I stand corrected.
There's a slight difference.
Very similar.
Bings and pings, ladies and gentlemen. Bings and pings on the next episode of the Sports Bros podcast. All right, B-Live, what's your favorite Summer Olympic sport? What you got?
Oh, man. It's one of those things. It's so tough to do this after reading such great answers and everything like that. I've already formulated my opinion until I'm like, you know what? I forgot about that. So like, but you know what? I'm actually going to give a little golf clap to Joey Buckets, because table tennis is up there for me. But one answer, this is going to be surprising to a lot of people because I definitely can't do it. And that's probably why I have such admiration for it. I like watching water polo.
That is a
water. Yes,
because you're not touching the bottom.
No, not even. They're treading water. They're treading water and swimming the entire time. And I don't care what anybody says. Treading water was never a strong point for me. Yes, I did go to the Naval Academy. Yes, I had to learn how to tread water, but it was never strong. For somebody to tread water the entire time and just, oh my God, like whoever the goalie is, like their best recourse is to hold on to the net when they're not, but like just swimming up and down, and and then to propel yourself out of the water for some of these shots is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I only watch water polo during the Olympics, and that's why that is my ultimate answer. Water polo, I love the watching. I absolutely. Close second, handball. Handball is something serious. Yeah. Again, these are Olympic sports I would never watch at any other point in time, but I enjoy handball. I played a little bit of handball, and just it's fun. It's fun. And I do enjoy watching it. So, but yeah, water polo is my answer.
Oh, good one. Good answer.
Right. What you guys got to do?
I think track and field's probably the one with mine too. I like watching the races because the variety of them, the hurdles, the 400, the 100, the sprints and all that. Yeah, I will say I enjoyed watching the swimming races the last several years with Michael Phelps involved, because he was such a unique athlete. Baseball is one of my favorite sports to watch, but when it comes to the Olympics, I don't think I'm going to get invested to sit and watch a baseball game for 3 hours, Olympic time. But as they bounce around and show different coverage of different things, I will definitely watch the swimming relays and that stuff again. But you watch the different heats of the track and field, and when it gets down to like the finals, like this is going to be the final one, this is going to be the run for the gold. Man, that's pretty exciting. I like that stuff. Whether it's the 400, whether it's the 200, whether it's I like all the different track and field events. But guys, did you see the basketball team lost to Nigeria?
Nigeria.
That's a team that they beat by 80 points a few years ago.
Yep, 80 points.
Now, granted, this team is comprised of some NBA players, but still, our guys better get it together if they,
quick.
Yeah,
quick.
One thing that it is noted that also with the extended NBA season, that this was actually their first ever game playing together.
Right. They only practiced for like 4 days together or something like that. So, but it just goes to show that they're not going to be able to show up and win gold like they did in Barcelona back in the day. The world is catching up to the United States, and the world's here. I mean, they're playing in the NBA, so
right, so very much so.
Very true.
The gap is not the same as it used to be, but still, we should win that. You would think, even with our tokenism going on in that. Anyway, go.
that was a flashback to another episode.
Another episode. Another topic.
Yeah, check the Sports Bros archive. I would have to say track and field is interesting just to see how fast everybody is going from the relay races to the hurdles. I forgot the 200, the 400, whatever it is. I just like seeing people run really fast and try to shatter world records because I can run fast. About 20 years ago, I could not as much because some of those athletes, they make it look very effortlessly. All right.
Not to mention the throwing and the jump, like the long jump and the triple jump and all that stuff.
Triple jump and everything.
There's a lot to watch.
Did y'all like my long jump effort when I was on the beach?
Was that a long jump or a long dive? Which one was it?
It was more like the Fosbury flop, the pole vaulting.
I'm pretty sure I bounced. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think I bounced. I think I was a boom boom. But yeah, we do not. Our athletic skills have eluded us over the course of some years. Shout out to Scotty D, still on the golf course. I gotta do some.
Oh, there's Olympic golf too, right? This year?
Yes. I don't know if it's this year, but there's Olympic golf as well too.
Yes.
I think they play that in the Summer Olympics, not the Winter Olympics. So
yep,
there
summer.
should be golf.
Yep.
I think Justin Rose won the gold medal last time they had it 5 years ago. So anyway, yep. I digress.
But I digress. All right. And my other favorite one is Olympic wrestling. Okay.
Oh man, didn't even think about wrestling.
Yeah. Olympic wrestling, the sport that gave us Kurt Angle, who did it back in '96 with what?
A broken freaking neck.
I love the way we both said that.
Yeah.
You got to include a broken freaking neck. You got to put that in there. It's got to be in there. Got to do it.
Yeah, which gave us such memories as Rulon Gardner, Kurt Angle, Bruce Baumgartner, and plenty more, man. Seeing them, wrestle those guys from Russia and guys from other parts of the world, man. It's just like I said,
I'm getting hyped for the Olympics now, man. I'm getting hyped for talking to this conversation. So bring it on. When's that again? The 23rd? That's coming up here in a couple weeks.
Yep, coming up. I think also what's coming up too? NFL training camp as well too. Should be right around the corner. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers show up. That's either here nor there. All right, shout out to Rodney.
Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks.
Scotty D. Your Cowboys gonna be on Hard Knocks, and I think we'll do a weekly review of every Hard Knocks episode.
All right, I like it.
Nobody cares.
Oh boy,
America does. Anyway, go ahead.
No, they don't.
Anyway, go ahead. America cares. Go ahead, Eddie. Cool.
All right, so here we go. Shout out to Rodney, Dave, Uncle Max, Mike, JR, Veronica, Will, Amanda Morgan, Alex B, Craig Burns, Big Boss Man Bruce Diamond, Steve Wallace, Erica, Nikki Rock, and Joy Buckets for their contribution and participation in this week's Choices of the Voices.
Hold
that
thought.
What?
I left the door open last week when we were talking about the Choices of the Voices, and I said a certain somebody I was looking forward to see how they spun this answer, and he did not show up. Trey Dizzle, I am shocked, ashamed. Just where you at? You know where you at? You know where you at right now? You're in the penalty box.
No, I know where he is, though. I know where he is. He's celebrating his 10-year
anniversary,
wedding anniversary. Yeah, so he's celebrating. He's being Trey Dizzle.
He got married on the hottest day known to mankind. I was there. It was the hottest day in history.
You know what? I did see that post from the wifey, and I had to keep scrolling because I'm an internet troll. And I literally it was her post. It wasn't his post. So I know I'd have been all kinds of inappropriate if I'd have mentioned some dumbness about Dak Prescott. I'd have just been wrong. So I showed restraint. Must resist. Uncle Max, I showed restraint. I didn't say anything, but the worst part about it is that I thought it. I thought it when you mentioned about the pen and paper. I thought it. And I apologize. I was scrolling, And I was like, oh no, why is my brain operating like this?
Scrolling and trolling, featuring the Almighty Be Live. Scrolling and trolling. I was like, I saw the anniversary picture. I said, I hope Be Live don't go over there and do nothing dumb. And put a picture of Dak Prescott like in the clouds looking over them. I was like, oh, please don't.
My brain was there. I just scrolled by. If Trey would have posted it, he was gonna get it. But it was wifey. So I was like, no, she don't even know me from High Cat Adam or whatever. So
all right. Let's wrap this up, huh? Mr. Internet Troll. Let's wrap this up and move on.
On the next episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, scrolling and trolling with y'all. Mighty Be Live. All right, Scotty D, what's on tap for next week's choices of the voices? This is great.
All right, since we are hyped for the Olympics, I'm going to ask you to tell us about one of your favorite, most memorable Olympic moments. Again, we're going to stick to Summer Olympics. Favorite moments from Summer Olympics in the past, and that will give us something to talk about next week. Kitty Cool.
Boom, 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 boom. I ain't got no torch. Where's my lighter? Well, anyways, check us out. More Olympic talk on next week's Choices of the Voices.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
Well, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get the hell up out of here. All right. With that being said, before we get out of here and hate watch Monday Night Raw, or like Scotty D is motioning, we're probably gonna watch the Home Run Derby because that might be more entertaining. But either way, this is another edition of Pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. We're here to enlighten, engage, and entertain. Yes, I finally got it right. I got it written down on a piece of paper. Sometimes I practice my lines, but that's neither here nor there. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, and I'll go first. All right. On this day in history, in 1934, Babe Ruth hits his 700th career home run versus the Detroit Tigers. The Babe putting them out the park, number 700. Over to you, Scotty D. Yeah.
All right, a couple weeks ago, I was talking about Novak Djokovic and the opportunity to tie by winning Wimbledon, tie for the Grand Slam record, and he did it this past weekend. He now has 20 Grand Slams, I believe. Didn't get a whole lot of attention and press, and you know why that is, guys?
Why is that?
Because it's tennis. Be Live, over to you.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm just speaking
truth.
Oh boy, you something else. You something else, but you gave it the attention. And I was actually thinking about making that one of my pepper points, but I figured you would steal it. So there you go.
Hey, and I noticed that you didn't use soccer as one of your Olympic must watches. So very surprised at you. Very surprising.
Because see, here's the thing. I think Olympic soccer is not. I don't give me FIFA World Cup over Olympic soccer any day.
Oh
of the week.
yeah, me
so
too.
Yeah, that's so. Shut up.
Oh yeah.
for a slight second, I thought he was agreeing with me, and then I was oh, this freaking troll. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way because I want to end on a good note. So I'm gonna get this mess out of the way. We spoke about it earlier when it comes to Ronald Acuna Jr. and his season-ending injury. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, and this is gonna be extra hot pepper. The Miami Marlins social media organization is trash. They're absolutely freaking trash. So at the time where Ronald Acuna got hurt and couldn't retrieve the ball and everything, ended up having to get carted off, the Miami Marlins decided they wanted to tweet, would you like to take another look at Jazz? Would want to see Jazz hit an inside the park home run. He got an inside the park home run because the fielder, Ronald Acuna, got hurt and was carted off. Not a good idea. You don't need to tweet everything immediately. You actually had a chance to look at it, and you saw the play. You saw where Acuna was laid out on the ground, and you still reposted that. And then 5 minutes later, you tweeted it because, maybe not a good idea. Yeah, trash. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is the same Miami Marlins organization that made a light joke about Steve Irwin. the crocodile hunter, after he had passed away, when they made a mention to the Tampa Bay Rays about, didn't your mascot kill Steve Irwin? And this was literally right after he had passed away.
Ooh,
Trash.
saucy.
So I don't know if they're the same social media team, but man, yeah, trash, absolutely trash. And I'm not they're not off the hook until I hear a public apology. It's out there. I've seen stories because they try to delete the tweet. No, I'm not trying to hear all that. I need to see it. No, I need to see it. They're trash. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Ding.
Yeah, hey, I don't know how in the blue hell I'm gonna follow it up, but in the words of the money man Scotty D, do better. Just do better. Just you gotta be better.
Thanks.
What can you expect from an organization that barely wins anything? All right, that's Bush League behavior. Like my 5-year-old nephew's got more class than that. Yeah, I said it. Me in your face. All right, I'm looking at you. Say something more like, all right. Second pepper point goes out to Ravens offensive lineman Kevin Zeitler. You want to know why? Somebody asked me why is this pepper point going out?
Tell me why. I'm very curious.
All right, you're very curious, and I'm going to tell you why. Why? Because he made the news because his wife was in the hospital giving in labor as she was about to give birth to a baby. And I guess he was a nervous papa, kind of had the jitters or whatever. And the video I saw, everything looked real calm. But then she pans the camera over. You see a big old 300-pound lineman getting his O-line drills in, be working on his footwork, going to the left, going to the right, shifting in position, everything. So, I guess that's what you do when you're an expecting father and a starting offensive lineman in the NFL, one of the best ones there is. And former Giants teammate Steve Slayton said, if you know Zeit, this is the most Zeit thing ever. So yeah, he seems to be a class act in a good way. But with that being said, his wife Sarah gave birth to little Parker Lou. Yes, little Parker Lou. She entered the world at 10 pounds and 22.5 inches long, and she's healthy. The family is healthy and happy. Shout out to the Zeitlers. Good stuff.
Very good.
Good stuff. Yes.
Nice,
All right.
nice.
Yes. Over to you, Scotty D.
All right. In the world of baseball, I mean, I know we got the big All-Star game coming up this week, but a very, very interesting thing happened this past week when Daniel Camarena hit a grand slam. Daniel Camarena, the reason it caught my attention is because he's a relief pitcher.
Oh.
My first thought is not that it's so. I mean, it is very rare, but not was wow. That's awesome. He hit him. I was wondering why was he in the game? Why is a relief pitcher getting in an at bat in the first place? So upon further review, he came into the game. He played for the Padres. They were losing 6-0 to the Nationals. He then gives up 2 more runs, so they're down 8-0. So I guess they figured we're just going to leave him in there. 3 batters got on against Max Scherzer. This is Daniel Camarena's first ever hit as a major leaguer, and it's a grand slam off of Max Scherzer, who's probably been the best pitcher of the last decade or so. It was the first grand slam hit by a relief pitcher since 1985 when Donnie Robinson did it for your Pittsburgh Pirates. And that's why I wanted to tell that story, just to get back to the Pittsburgh Pirates doing something good. And it was 1985. Be live. Take it away. Over to you.
Yeah, I knew it always comes full circle. Always comes full circle.
That's a historic reference right there. All right.
Really is.
But no, that's wow. A relief pitcher.
A relief pitcher hitting one off the
grand first hit ever.
First hit ever,
in
a grand slam off of Scherzer.
Wow. Yeah, that'll do it. All right. I told you I wanted to end on a good note, so I got a second one that's got me a little hot and heavy, a little extra pepper real quick. So we just had the Euro tournament, European soccer football tournament, European football tournament. That concluded. It was supposed to be in 2020, but of course, COVID and all that things. Where you had Italy versus England. And it ended up going into penalty kicks where Italy ended up winning. He over here laughing. Let me tell a story.
Penalty kicks, good.
But yeah. So, but the big story about the penalty kicks is that England missed 3 penalty kicks.
3 of them.
They missed 3 of them. Italy ended up winning it all. But what made it significant was the 3 players that missed penalty kicks. 2 of the players were late substitutions. If you don't know much about soccer or football, if you make substitutions late in the game, those are players that have to make those kicks, especially like if you take out one of your major scorers, everything. If they're not in the game, they're not allowed to take the penalty kicks. But the one big story is by the name of Marcus Rashford. He's a well-known player, plays professionally for Manchester United and plays for the England national team. And he was one of the 3 players that missed one of the penalty kicks. Another part of that story is that England has been in a drought of sorts. Their national team, they haven't won a major championship since 1955. It's been a very long time, and so England fans, they've been really, really impatient, and they are now going to vandalism, where Rashford has been. Well, he's been well known in the community. One of the things is that he's been trying to provide free food for kids that are in school. So before Scotty D laughs about this because he's just inappropriate. So he's well known in the community and in the country, and he's done great for England national team and for Manchester United. And it was just real classless. And also a feature of this is that Rashford is a person of color, and he's been attacked verbally, especially on social media, and now vandalism. It's a sport. We should not resort to this. I understand that Scotty D does not like soccer, so that's why he laughs. But at the end of the day, no,
I love it.
Yeah, shut up. But anyway, but Marcus Rashford has reached out. He's gotten overwhelming amount of support, especially from the mayor of Manchester, and he wanted to reach out to his fans and people abroad and everything like that, basically saying that he's overwhelmed by the amount of positive support that he has received over this. Congratulations to Italy, winning the Euro tournament, because they also fell short. They fell short of the Olympics. The Italian team that is well known in the Olympics, they fell short qualifying back in 2017. So for them to win the Euro this year, it's a pretty big story for the Italians. Sorry for England. You lost back in 1776 and you lost this year. I do apologize. All right, America, Eddie Cool, the ball.
Wow, nice party shot.
That should just about cover our soccer topic for the rest of the year. I think we should be good from here on in.
Wow.
Nope. There's going to be more, and that's what I'm here for. I want to be internationally known. I just don't want to rock the microphone. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. That's the lyric. I want the Sports Bros to go abroad, and with your way of thinking, we'll never make it there, sir. Maybe through golf.
I've got other plans for us. You stay tuned.
We'll be covering Pinochle next year. No, I'm joking so much. I'm lying. I'm joking. Anyways, third and final pepper point. All right. There's a budding rivalry in the AFC West between Patrick Mahomes, the $500 million man, and the rookie upstart going into the second season as the Chargers quarterback, Justin Herbert. I don't know why you call him Josh. He looks like a Josh. But anyways, Justin Herbert, all right? ESPN put out a list about the top 10 quarterbacks, and I think Justin Herbert was like 9 or 10. Yeah, 9 or 10. Really, really high hopes for the dude. He had a good season last year. So at a celebrity golf tournament, Patrick Mahomes is mind his business, la, 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 kind of walking down the fairway. Somebody blurted out, and they said, "Hey, man, you better watch out for Justin Herbert." Patrick Mahomes turned around and said, "I'll see it when I believe it." I mean, we know what he meant, but yeah, he said, "I'll see it when I believe it." And I was like, oh,
here we go.
Bring it on.
And here we go. And with that being said, the Chargers go to Kansas City on the 26th of September.
All right.
Let's get it. We got us a rivalry. Let's go. We got some new fresh rivalry. We'll no longer have, Manning or Brady or Breeze and Brady or things like that. Now we're slowly starting to see the transition from the old guard to the new generation. Let's just hope they don't do the WWE's version of the new generation because it was poo-poo. Over to you, Scotty D.
All right. The reason I said I got other plans for us because I think that the three of us have a chance to cover UFC because we are every bit as qualified as them jokers that ESPN pay-per-view had covering it the other night. And I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, and Teddy Atlas. Stephen A. knows basketball like nobody's business. So stay in that lane, Stephen A. You're good at that. But it got worse. He did the pre-fight, but it got worse because when it was over, they went to Max and Teddy Atlas, who both know boxing, but that's not the same thing. And Teddy Atlas started talking, and I was losing my mind wondering what in the blue hell he was trying to say. He kept saying the geography mattered in this, and when they went to the floor or the mat or the ground, he didn't even know what he was saying. It was making no sense. So if those guys got a shot at it, we got a crack at it too. Why not? Come on, ESPN, do better. Surely there's somebody retired already. I know it's a new sport. Somebody retired that knows more about it than these cats. Be live over to you.
You can't find Chuck Liddell. You can't find Tito Ortiz. You can't find
somebody. Come on.
You can't find nobody.
They got Bisping and Dominic Cruz. I say that's enough. You don't need a Stephen A. in there. I think they think because he was covering McGregor, Stephen A. has been fans might bring more into MMA. Fans are hardcore. They see through that kind of crap. They don't like that stuff. You stay to the NBA Finals. Stephen A. is a fantastic NBA analyst, and that's where he should be.
So, one thing, speaking of things that the Sports Bros podcast can cover is October 22nd or 23rd? Which one of them days is it? I know it's one of them days where all three of us. Yes.
Dabo's coming to town.
Yes, because he has not been mentioned in this podcast this week. So all roads lead to Dabo. Hopefully, we'll work on it. We'll talk after the show about the plans and everything. Hotels booked. All three of us in Pittsburgh. Clemson versus Pittsburgh, October 22nd and 23rd. Got to make it happen. But I told you I wanted to end on a good note, on a high note, and it don't get any better than this. And I want to say thank yous, Money Man, for the Blue Hell reference. I love that, by the way. But I digress. This is the feel-good story of just my life, because it may not be considered a sport, but I'd be doggone if this is just wonderful. Because shout out to Zayla Avant-Garde, a Louisiana teen that just won the Scripps National Spelling Bee. She also knew the history of each and every word, the dialect, the origin of the word, and everything. And she was pinpoint precision with it. It was absolutely amazing. And it's just one of those things. Not only is spelling one of her fortes, she has aspirations and goals to play in the WNBA or actually coach in the NBA. So just I want to put that into perspective, just the amount of opportunities that are being opened by because life in general not being as closed-minded as we as a society once were. So a young lady, 14 years old, winning the national spelling bee, has aspirations to play professional basketball or coach in the NBA. That was not a thing 10, 15 years ago for a young girl to have those aspirations, have those dreams. For her to have those dreams is leaps and bounds where we have come as a society, and I'm very thankful for that. So Zayla Avant-Garde, congratulations. And I just want to make sure that I give you every bit of those shout outs and continue to pursue your dreams. The Sports Bros podcast is behind you 1,000%. Yes, sir.
Applause for that one. Good point. But B-Live, I will tell you, it remains the little Indian kid when he fainted on the stage. That remains the greatest. That's the funny. Greatest moment in the history of the spelling bee, because he went down and a little girl behind him just sat there and just kind of checked him out. Nobody helped him. That's one of those. God bless him, but that was a classic moment on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, check out I don't know if you guys saw this, the guy at the Scottish Open last week who walked up to Rory McIlroy on the course and took his club out of his bag and just went over and started taking practice swings before anybody realized what was going on with this dude. He actually took the time to take the head cover off of it and everything. And Rory just kind of like,
No. What made it wet? He took the head covering off of the driver, but picked up the 6-iron. He had the head covering of the driver.
He tried to keep it.
He changed.
He tried to give the club back and keep the head cover.
See, this is the result of people being in the house for 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 months.
Yep.
They get out in public. They think they can just start randomly doing stuff.
And listen, I know that is dangerous. I mean, the fact that this guy could just roll up to anybody like that, there wasn't security there at that particular spot on the golf course. But I'll be damned if that wasn't funny. I mean, that was that was really funny.
The reaction.
The reaction. It was so blatant that this guy just rolled up that nobody thought to stop him. He just rolled up to Rory's bag. And I'm picking Rory to win the British Open this weekend, by the way. That's my pick.
Who you picking, Be Live?
You stole it from me. I was thinking Rory as well.
Pick him.
He's
playing good.
He is playing good, and this is a little bit more of his wheelhouse, close to home at the British Open. It's still going to be the British Open. I know y'all renamed it to the Open.
Championship.
The Open Championship. It's still the British Open to me.
British Open.
But
with a bunch of wins.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I feel like this is Rory's time. I really do. I usually try to be controversial, but yeah, I'll go with Rory as well.
And keep an eye on Harris English. He got a recent win. He's another one of those European guys.
All right, that's it for Pepper. Correct, fellas?
Yeah, you got a British Open pick there.
I'm rolling with Rory. We're
rolling Rory all the way. All right, Tony Finau, where are you at? Is Tony Finau going?
And we don't know.
Finau watch. Let's see if Finau's on the list. We're still on Tony Finau watch.
I read
for his next.
I read something earlier where
he's in.
All right, good.
He's in.
I read something earlier where two guys had a withdrawal due to COVID. So Rona Mania is still running wild. That little national thing.
Zach Johnson
and I forgot the other fellow. But
I think Sung J M is one of them. Bubba Watson's out. There's a few of them that were not comfortable with this, so they're skipping it.
Completely understandable. All right, fellas. Anything else to add before we get up out of here?
And speaking of people walking up with live audiences and everything, the dude that got punched by Chris Jericho at AEW.
Funny. Funny.
He tried to run up on and he was like, nope, not going.
Yeah. that was a great show, by the way. Great show, by the way. And Scotty D puts his glasses on.
SPORTS.
And the kid fell out just like that.
Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks winning. What was it? Match of the year, moment of the year, something like that.
Yep.
Looking just beautiful.
She made her own dress. While Scotty is passed out on the floor like the kid who won the spelling bee, I'll remind y'all right fast. Check out my articles on Key on Sports Media. That website, I'm putting all my articles on there. Check me out. Also, debuting Wednesday on their podcast network. That's right. On the Key on Sports Plus podcast network, premium podcast network, is the Sports Bros podcast. That's right. You can check us out there as well, too. I'll provide the link. And finally, I will be on Night Bright Live TV. That's right, with Sterling Thrill at 10 p.m. on Facebook Live. I'll be the featured guest. You do not want to miss this. Anything else we got to say before we get out of here and watch Monday night? You know what? We're going to go watch a home run derby. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
And in closing,
do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it now more than ever. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast.
Going to the beach.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye and good night. Where's the stop button? Oh, there it is. Hold on.
And we're clear.
You know, man.